If you are experiencing foundation issues, get a free estimate from Ox Foundations.
Coach Adam Fossett, the head football coach and athletic director at B.B. Comer High School, brought to you this morning by the B.B. Comer Booster Club. You a Johnny Cash fan?
I am a Johnny Cash
fan.
Yeah, I was watching that, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I like some Johnny Cash.
Hey, listen, I think B.B. Comer picked up a lot of respect last week, and they played Sachs a lot closer than most people give them a chance for.
Yeah, no doubt. I was impressed with how our guys came out, being able to see on the inside of how practices go and things like that. Thursday practice was awful. As a matter of fact, we started practice over on Thursday, so we were about halfway through, and it was just bad. And I said, "Look, we're starting completely over." So I didn't really know what we were getting into on Friday. I knew what Sachs had. I knew the athletic ability that they had.
Now, we're not talking about some rookie team here. Sachs is a veteran team.
You're talking about a team that made it to the third round last year. They had some big guys.
And a fumble right there.
Yeah, that was the opening drive. So we get a 4th and short and go for it, and we get the first down. And this is Raphael Johnson on a counter. This is one of the long runs he had. He had 238 yards rushing.
Yeah, he's a player right there.
Yes. So he's really excelled for us. Devontae Carmichael throwing the ball, good catch by Julius there. So the most impressive thing was we were able to do it in the air and on the ground.
Yeah.
So.
Big interception right there.
Yeah, big interception by Devontae. So
what was the difference in? Sachs is a strong football player, been in the playoffs forever. What's the difference in B.B. Comer Friday night than, say, 2 weeks ago?
The big thing is the leadership on the team. The kids are the Devontae Carmichaels and the Brian Bradfords and the Raphael Johnsons they're all meshing together. They're finally figuring out that team concept, and I can't do it without this guy. I can't do it without that guy. And that they have to have each other, and everybody has their own role. So that's probably the biggest thing. We've stayed the course as far as game planning and X's and O's and things like that. You can't get in a situation where something may not work one week and you just scrap it and go to something completely different. So I've seen teams that do that. I've seen programs that they may start off in the spread week 1, and week 3 they're in the I, and week 5 they're running the flex bone, and they never have an identity. So one thing that we did as a coaching staff, and I did especially offensively, and after that Winterboro game, I said we've got to create an identity, and we did that. So we kind of scrapped some fluff and just worked on the basics. We have to have some basic cogs in the wheel that we can depend on offensively, and we were able to do that. We had a solid running game. We were able to throw the ball, which if you can't throw the ball some, it's going to hurt you because they're going to put 8-9 guys in the box and just come after you. So we were able to keep Sachs honest and keep them spread out. Put in a little tight end set where we brought a receiver in and put his hand in the dirt. So just some basic concept stuff that we changed that the kids picked up on real quick, and we were able to have success with.
Did you see the confidence of B.B. Comer grow? Even though the Sachs won the football game, and you're coming off a double overtime loss to Winterboro week prior, the confidence levels got to be moving up.
Yes, confidence levels there. The kids Friday night, I think they had more fun playing than I've ever seen them have, and that's part of it. We all want to win. We all want to have that success, but they had fun. They had fun being there, and we went to Sachs a year ago. And a year ago, with 5 minutes left to go before halftime, it was 42-0. So I can't remember what the score was at halftime last week, but we were in the ball game. We were, instead of going in at halftime, when you're down 42-0 and you're going in at halftime down 42, there's not a whole lot of game planning going on with your coaching staff and with your kids. When you're down 6 points, there's a lot of game planning going on. We were able to game planned as a coaching staff. We went in and talked to those guys. We added a few wrinkles offensively. We had a little just a simple wrinkle of bringing our back out of the backfield to the opposite side of a play that they were chewing up for us, and we dumped it to Raphael, and he gets 45 yards and a first down. Something that we draw up on the board in the locker room, and for them to be able to do that says a lot about where they are learning the game of football and understanding the sport and things like that. So it says a lot about their ability to buy in, and we talked about building a program. Again, it's not a knock on my guys last year. My seniors last year were great, but it was all new. Mm-hmm. These guys have had 2 years of it. So next year's group will have 3 years of it, and then 4 years of it, and then so forth and so on. So the longer we're there, the more they're learning, and the more those young guys are learning.
What makes this running game different?
I'll tell you, the biggest difference between week 1 and week 2 for us was up front. Our offensive line, we changed. There may have been some of the same guys on the line. We moved everybody around. Mm-hmm. So we moved Kobe McCain from tackle to center. We moved Hagan DeLee from center to tackle, and Drew Hallman from guard to tackle, and Corey Anderson around. Like, we moved everybody on that offensive line around, and we found 5 guys that we can go with that did a good job. And that's being a lineman my entire life from birth until now. It's a tough job. I tell our skill guys all the time, it's not easy to be a lineman. We're in the trenches every play. And we're supposed to be doing it every play. And if something goes great, then, hey, man, that running back did a good job. If something goes bad, that lineman missed his block. So there's no glory in it. There's not too many linemen in the newspaper with stats and things like that. So I tell them, it's a thankless job, but it's the most important job on the field. Mm-hmm. We've got to have you guys, and we love on our linemen and dote on them a little bit, but it's an important job, and those guys did an incredible job Friday for us in making some holes and making some things happen.
Well, Raphael only needs a step.
Yes,
he's a great running back.
Yeah, his speed has gotten a ton better, and last year I told him, I said, if you're not doing baseball, which wasn't doing baseball, you're going to run track. So he ran track in the spring, and I really think just that extra races and running the 100 and the 4x1 and the 200 and things like that helps him with his speed. That's stuff that you can't get in the weight room. So, I think that benefited him a ton. On one of the runs that he had, he pulls away from everybody.
Oh, yeah.
He's even with the guy from Sachs, and by the time he scores, he's 10 yards ahead of him. And the kid from Sachs never let up. He's trying to make a tackle too. So, but he did a good job for us defensively, and that's the other thing. If we can put a whole game together, defensively we played really well against Winterboro. Offensively we played really well against Sachs and had some letdowns defensively. So if we put a total game together, there's no telling what we can do.
Double overtime loss to Winterboro 2 weeks ago. Lose to a highly acclaimed Sachs club last week. Now you shift gears, go to Glencoe, a Glencoe team that hasn't scored a point this season, but yet you guys can't be so confident to say, hey, we got this, we got to play.
Right, no doubt. We've got to go in and play the game and perform and execute. The message all week has been you got to pick up where you left off. If you look at both of our games, we've spotted each team 12 points. So we haven't shown up to play until we were down 12 to nothing. We can't go on the road to Glencoe and spot them 12 points and then play from behind the whole night. So we've got to be able to start fast and finish, and that's kind of what we've worked on in practice and things like that. Is you got to start fast. Don't just wait for it to happen. So, and this is our longest road trip of the year too. So, I want to be able to get there and get them off the bus and uncramped and things like that. So, but we've got to put together 4 quarters of football, and we've got some guys that have stepped up. Especially defensively, Kobe McCain and Hagan DeLee both have stepped up on the defensive line for us. Hagan was the defensive player of the week last week. At one point in time against Sachs, they went 3 and out, and Hagan had all 3 tackles. One was a sack. So he's done well for us. Brian Bradford is a stalwart for us on defense. So, we've got the guys in place, and we're flying around. So, Friday night is going to be important for us to.
This Tiger team hungry for a win.
Oh yeah. they want it. They understand they got to work for it. It's not just it's not going to be given to them. And I think that's the most important thing is they get it. They know nobody's going to give you anything. So that us driving that home for 2 seasons now has really set in with them, and they know it's not going to be given to them. They know that there's some tough games ahead of us, and that the next opponent in line is Glencoe, and we go there, and we need to come back with a win.
All right, B.B. Comer and Glencoe tomorrow night, kick at 7 o'clock at Glencoe. Adam Fossett, the head football coach and athletic director at B.B. Comer. Our guest brought to you by the B.B. Comer Booster Club. Coach, good luck tomorrow night.
Thanks, sir.
More Daybreak in a minute.